Welcome. Delighted to be joined by Robbie Steinhouse today. Thank you for joining us, Robbie. You are presenting at the 2024 NLP Conference, and your topic is the couples score, which is very ambiguous. So do please start by telling us a little bit more about yourself and your presentation.
Okay, so thanks, Karen, and obviously appreciate the opportunity to be able to do this. About myself, well, I would describe myself as originally an entrepreneur who turned to NLP about 25 years ago. So if anything I bring to the field was being an entrepreneur, not in the NLP field, but in a more kind of boring conventional business around property and insurance. So that's I like to say is a difference. But the interesting thing is, so often I'm not sure if I teach entrepreneurship or if people particularly come to me to learn about entrepreneurship, because so often people are attracted to people who are different. So I used to teach with a kind of Tai Chi teacher, and so often it was the entrepreneurs who liked him because he was sort of different and slightly strange to them. Well, I suppose I'm a bit of an exotic creature to somebody who's a yoga teacher. So in some ways, actually in a peculiar way, I'm the type of people who come to my training tend to be professionals, but there's not that many of the sort of desperate wannabes, watching social media and want to be an entrepreneur. So I just teach NLP, and I think that's the other thing. Stick to the knitting is an old entrepreneurial saying. So I've stuck to the knitting of teaching NLP. That's what I do. I teach it at my own school in England called NLP School, and I know you've kindly attended a few times. A little bit internationally, especially of Robert Dilts NLP University, and this was my 11th year of teaching there.
Wow!
So that's we taught master trainer. So I mean, no pressure there that I'm supposed to teach people to be master trainers. But anyway, such is it. But yeah, so NLP being my speciality, I haven't gone off on some other tangent really. And I'm writing a novel. That's my latest. We published 5 books, but I'm actually going to. The novel should be out hopefully by the time the NLP conference is there.
Wonderful.
So who knows?
How exciting.
Anyway, so that's I don't want to talk about myself too much. Get the idea. The couples score. So yes, I've always been very interested. A bit stick to the knitting. Is couples therapy, couples counselling really the job of NLP? Well, I mean, not really, but then again, NLP sort of delves into all areas, and something I've always fascinated me is the psychology of couples. And my wife and I listened to a book by Terence Real called Us, highly recommended. Not an NLP book, but a very interesting book where his methodology is basically that you basically have a therapist who will send one of the couples back to a kind of triggered event in their youth, so that the other couple can see this is the child that pops up and freaks you out. Right. And so often we are attracted to somebody who triggers us.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the sort of origins of it. And so I'm using the score model, which is Robert Dilts and also is Judith Delosier dancing score, more somatic version of it. Yeah. I created this process with the help of my wife. We said, let's, she's a master practitioner. Why don't we rock on? Anna and I had a go, and we did this. And I thought, well, I'm going to develop it, and I have been. And I thought, where better place than the NLP conference to show a little bit of a NLP stir fry of couples therapy and NLP.
We do like a bit of NLP stir fry. I love that.
There we are. That's all good.
So what practical learnings will delegates take away from your session, Robbie?
Okay. Well, I mean, I say that sort of the practical learnings would be a lot to do, I think, with relationships generally, because I think all relationships have some element of this. I mean, a famous couples therapist, Harville Hendricks, who's actually, I think, a personal friend of Robert and Deborah Dilts, wrote this book called Getting the Love You Want, and also created a process called Imago, I think about 30 or 40 years ago, which is a kind of popular couples methodology. And basically what he's saying is you are attracted to someone consciously because they're like your, as Americans call them, original caregivers, or parents probably is, but fair point, original caregivers, but you're also unconsciously attractive to the negative traits of your original caregiver. So often you meet somebody who got married, they say, why did I do it? Or if they've been married multiple times, I always seem to find the same person. They seem different, but then actually they seem to have the same problems. And I think that's this kind of understanding that we are unconsciously attracted to people who often have these qualities.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a little bit of, so what would you get out of it? Well, hopefully, if you are in a relationship, you would be able to, kind of, stand above those triggers and hopefully be able to manage them collectively. If your, partner was willing to cooperate with you in something like this. I think if they weren't, it would be a potentially slightly dangerous thing to do, because, to take your partner into a sort of kind of triggered early state, if they don't want to go there, is I think is the one. But I will also do a demonstration in my set where you could do it without your partner, so you could learn about it yourself. So it doesn't have to be only couples doing it together. It could be one or other doing it to get insights themselves. And also, obviously, if you are a coach or a therapist and you work with couples, often even in team coaching, because so often I remember once coaching two partners who were accountancy partners, managing partner and a sort of, kind of partner who was head of sales, so they couldn't get rid of him. And the two of them weren't like a married couple. They probably spent more time together. So I think, you could extend it beyond the traditional relationships.
Right. Okay.
So does that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm thinking, well, I'm one of the fortunate people in the NLP conference who my husband will be there. So there you go. But I'm sure, as I said, that as you said, that it's applicable not just to couples, to team situations as well. So
absolutely.
Brilliant. Yeah. So is there anything that delegates can do before your session to get a sort of a deeper understanding or a deeper experience during your session?
Well, I don't know. It depends. People come from different backgrounds. So do they know the school model? I mean, I can go over it very quickly now. I think it would be useful. But you could go to the NLP University Encyclopedia, nlpu.com, Robert's website, and there's an encyclopedia. It's technologically, it's not that recent, but all the material is there and it's free. So you could go to the school. And I don't know, anyone who would like to read anything like Harville Hendricks, or also, even the early NLP books, where Virginia Satir talks quite a lot about, people with a visual preference often seem to be attracted to people with a kinesthetic one or auditory one. So possibly, genetically their children will have a more balanced rep system, but then they associate that with values. He doesn't value me because he leaves his socks by the laundry basket. She doesn't value me because she doesn't speak softly to me, or you know what I mean. So the values and the rep systems kind of come in. So I think that just familiarizing yourself with that, or reading Harville Hendricks or Us, or the book by Terence Real, or this there's a lot out there with it, would help as well.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. So Robbie, what inspired you to want to present at the NLP conference?
So what inspired me is, firstly, I think there is this idea of this sort of international quality to it. There is an international group of NLP trainers, and the conference that you so kindly run and administer, and I know it's a labor of love. I can't imagine you're making a fortune out of it. So thank you very much indeed. Is a way of bringing together the entire world, and also you're encouraging some of the sort of new people involved. Some of these people were my students in the past who are coming up. So there is also a need for new generations of people to come along, and so there's all that. But also I think that it's for me, what really attracts me to it is that sense that this is in some sense my tribe, and you are, I don't know, the village tribal elder or something, or I don't know, bringing the tribe together, or we're all sitting around the tribal campfire, often online. But yes, so I would like to share some ideas with my tribe and learn some new ideas from them too.
Thank you. My mind went in a very different place when you started describing the village, and I was thinking, oh yes, I can think of another more derogatory term for the position in the village. But thank you for that. So as I said at the beginning, Robbie is presenting at the NLP conference. Robbie's presenting in the in-person element of the conference. So on Sunday, the 12th of May, and 1600 BST, because it will be summertime by then, thank goodness. So really looking forward to your presentation in May, Robbie, and looking forward to seeing you in person in May. So
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Really appreciate it.